Welcome back to another episode of Living the Standard, the podcast for those who refuse to settle for average. I'm your host, Brandon Hogan. Each episode, we talk about raising your standard in the gym, in business, and in life. So last episode, I finished up talking about how I started gaining some clientele while I was training at that little sport facility in Farley, and then traveling out to Dyersville to train at Anytime Fitness as well, all under Bar Raising Fitness, while I was training some people in my garage still at that time as well. But I finished up that episode talking about how me and a buddy at the gas station were talking about my plan, and that I said to him that I hope to have a facility of my own in the next 5 years. And like I said, little did I know that an opportunity would pop up shortly after her seeing that old buddy at that gas station and telling him that. So shortly after that, I received a phone call from an unknown number, and they left a message saying it ended up being one of my brother's friend's dad. So I knew of him. I didn't know him personally, but anyways, he saw that I was training, and he had a friend who trained his son for baseball, and he had his own facility out in Dubuque, and they were looking to expand their facility and move into the mall located in Dubuque. And they were looking at bringing on like a sports performance trainer in that new facility. And so they were trying to brainstorm ideas, and randomly this dad thought of my name and threw it to this baseball trainer who is actually a former first round draft pick. So he had a sport baseball training, hitting, pitching, things of that sort, lessons. They had travel teams, and they were operating out of a small sports complex in Dubuque. And like I said, they were looking to expand. That the mall had a large open spot. So I said, yeah, sure, I would possibly be interested. What the heck? I'll go talk to him. So I ended up setting up a time, met with him at the mall space. And when I walked in, looked at it, I knew of the space. It used to be an old Sears retail space, so a very large area. And walked in, just looking at the space, like, wow, this place is huge. And met with him, introduced myself, told kind of what I was currently doing, how I was training out of my garage, traveling out to Farley, traveling out to Dyersville. He showed me the spot that they were looking to sublease. It was kind of in the back corner of the space. At the moment, there was no windows, no doors connected to the actual mall space, because I don't know if they blocked it all off or what, but it was all walls. It was a dark open space. Everything was unfinished, and the space was about 3,000 square feet. And when I was looking at it, I was like, just had visions in my head the moment I started looking at it, like walls, the turf, what equipment I would have, how I'd lay out the whole space, what I could do with this opportunity, what I could do with this type of space, and how I could really accelerate things. Of course, I mean, I was 22 at the time, just started up. I was optimistic. I had big dreams, big plans of where I could take Bar Raising Fitness. And this space, it just got me excited. And then we started talking. He started asking about my clientele. I could stay busy? Would this be a good opportunity for me? Does it make sense training athletes, my experience? This and that. And that conversation kind of boosted myself a little bit. Like I said, I had a pretty good sized clientele. Granted, they were all out in Farley and Dyersville. I only had a couple training in my garage, and they weren't the most serious clientele. But I said, yeah, I have clients. I'm sure some of them would come with me if I left Farley and Dyersville, that they would come with me in this spot. I had no idea. But yeah, like I said, I kind of boosted myself up a little bit. Like, yeah, I could for sure make this work. So we started talking a little bit about numbers, what they were looking for rent. I mean, it was in the mall. So most of you probably know that rent's not very cheap in a mall, so especially that large a space. And 3,000 square feet, that's a good size space for me, especially coming from my garage. So when he said that what they were looking for rent, I'm like, started thinking to myself, it's quite a bit. So started talking like, hey, maybe we could cut this space in half and I start with 1,500 square feet. And he started thinking, yeah, maybe we could just throw another batting cage in that extra 1,500 square feet and start with that. So we went our separate ways, said we would keep talking. And I talked to a couple people after that, and a lot of people were like, you sure? You sure you are ready for that? But in my mind, I was like, hey, I get this opportunity. I might not ever get this opportunity again to be in the same facility with former first round draft pick in the MLB. And he already has a well-known business. In my mind, I thought, okay, that's going to attract some athletes to me naturally. Little did I know that wasn't going to be the case when I first got started. But yeah, in my mind in that moment, I thought, okay, I'm going to get clientele. It's going to be slow, but I'm going to make this work because, like I said, I might not ever get an opportunity like this again. Like I said, like my goal was in the next 5 years have a facility. I don't know what the next 5 years are going to bring. That was the goal of mine. But right now, I have this opportunity. And in my mind, I thought I would be dumb not to take this opportunity and try and run with it. I was confident in myself. I knew I was going to grind. I knew I was going to hustle. And I knew that if I got this opportunity, I believed I was going to be able to make it work. So again, you can call it the optimistic side of me, or stupidity or overly confident, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, he ended up reaching back out to me shortly after that meeting, and we ended up working out some details and ended up coming to an agreement that I would start out with that 1,500 square feet. And yeah, I accepted. So I was officially moving into my first facility. And I don't even think I mentioned this, but this was in December of 2018. So I started in my garage November 1st. In December, I agreed to move into a spot in the mall connected to Eric Munson's baseball training facility. So yeah, big steps, big jumps. But once I agreed to it, now the real work really began. I had to get insurance. I had to get set up with a scheduling site. I rebranded. I made a new logo, made a new website, created new services. I had to set up a point of sale system to collect money. I had to meet with a lawyer. And all of this requires money, and I needed some equipment. I needed flooring. I needed turf. I needed marketing materials. The mall, we had to put in a door connecting to the actual mall space. So we had to pay for that, which I ended up paying a portion of that. The mall made us put in a massive window so people in the mall could see into the space. I ended up having to pay a portion of that, which again, I should have probably negotiated a little bit better than I did. But again, I was 22, all new to this, and I was just kind of agreeing. But anyways, so all that required money, and I had no money. The little money that I was making training in Farley in my garage in Dyersville, that all went toward my bills, my rent, my gas, my car payment, food. I had no money in my bank account. So I needed to raise money. And the first place I went to first was the bank. My bank that I was currently banking with at that time, and went to them and asked for a business loan, which I ended up getting approved for a $10,000 business loan at 15%. And this was for me specifically to buy equipment. So yeah, that interest rate, again, I was young, dumb, didn't know what I was doing, didn't have that much time either. They wanted to open in March. So we had December to March. So I was in a very tight time crunch with this too. So I accepted that loan through the bank that I was banking with and had $10,000 to buy some equipment. Needed more money than that. So I had to find other ways to make money. So I started raising money through friends and family, asking some relatives if I could take a loan through them. Ended up taking a loan out through my grandpa. I reached out to all my current and former friends, anyone that I knew or had saved on my Snapchat or in my contacts. Reached out to these people and presented them with an opportunity to loan me some money and receive a small interest between 5 and 7% depending on how much they loan, which I actually was able to raise a couple $1,000s just through reaching out to people on my phone. So I was able to at least raise some money to get everything that I needed to get started. And I actually ended up reaching out to an old buddy of mine, asking him if he wanted to be a part of the team and help out in any way that he could. He wanted to join. I also asked my cousin if he wanted to be a part of the team and help out in any way that we could. I told them both, obviously, I don't know how much I could pay you right now, but if you help me, we can at least get this rolling and see where it takes us. And they both were on board. My cousin's still with us to this day. He crushes it. But yeah, I had two people that were ready to help me once we got started. So I was feeling pretty good at this time. And this was probably, I think, early January when I finally raised money to kind of get things started. I had a couple people that were ready to help out. Now I needed to start checking off, like getting that equipment, getting things set up, all in place from January to March. So only a few months left. And for those of you that don't know, equipment, commercial equipment, fitness equipment is very expensive. So I was scanning every site that I could find, still looking on Facebook to see if any gyms were going out of business, that they were trying to auction off their items. I bounced around a couple auctions to go pick up some items. Got super fortunate and came across an Instagram ad with this one company that had a warehouse out in Tennessee. And from the looks of it, they were a newer company. They didn't have a point of sale system really set up yet. They didn't have shipping set up yet, but it looked like they had nice equipment and their prices were way cheaper than everyone else. So I thought about it and put everything in my cart, talked to the one of the owners of the company, and the total came out to exactly what my loan was for through the bank. So I was like, got everything I need through this company. I had 3 squat racks, a bunch of bumper plates, barbells, dumbbells, dumbbell racks, adjustable benches. I thought I needed a cross cable machine, so I threw that in there. Some other miscellaneous items, and it all came, the total came out to right around the money that I had. So I took the gamble and bought most of the equipment through them. And like I said, they didn't have a point of sale set up, so I sent them a PayPal. They didn't have shipping set up. And he said, well, I have a buddy who has a truck and trailer, so he'll bring it out to you. And I remember the day that it was supposed to get delivered, it was a big snowstorm, and I was going to have them deliver it out to my parents' house out on their farm because it was just so much stuff that I thought it made the most sense. And my parents live out on a gravel road, so even worse conditions during a snowstorm. And late at night, they're already 2, 3, maybe even like 4 or 5 hours late. It was pitch dark, past 9:00 p.m. I'm like, man, I just got screwed. This guy's not coming. And I'm just staring out my parents' window, just praying for headlights to come down that road. But you know what? Finally, I saw those headlights coming, and a truck and trailer came pulling in, and a big sigh of relief over me. Everything was there. You got just a guy, his pickup truck, trailer, and thousands and thousands of dollars of fitness equipment on the trailer in the middle of a snowstorm. But I was so fortunate to just randomly come across this company because their equipment was super nice, heavy duty, very clean looking, and I was able to get it all for a little bit of money that I had. So that was a huge blessing. So I had the equipment checked off. I had the flooring checked off. The contractors were putting in the door, the window, some marketing materials I had ready to go. I updated the website, made a whole new logo. I was, like I said, I was feeling good and ready to go. All this time I was still training my fitness classes and my clients out in Farley, out in Dyersville. I stopped training in the garage because I sold all of that equipment that I had in the garage to, again, make some money to pay for this transition into the mall. So wasn't really training anyone in the garage anymore. But my plan was, once I opened in March, that I would stop training in Farley and Dyersville. I stopped training in Dyersville right when we opened up in the mall. Farley, I believe I kept those fitness classes like a month or two while we were still in the mall, again, just to make some money because I had no clientele starting up in the mall. But yeah, all during this time, I was still traveling out to Dyersville, going to Farley early mornings, late nights, staying there, training, and then during the day, handling the business side of things, getting ready to move in and open up in the mall. A funny story I just thought of, but I remember the Munsons, they asked me if they were getting stickers and decals for the wall on their side with their logo and everything, and asked me if I wanted to get a sticker of the Bar Raising Fitness logo and hang it up, put it up on the wall, and just go through the company that they're going through. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do that. And after they hung it up, it definitely looked sharp, I must say, but when they gave me the bill, it was like $500, I want to say. And at that time, I did not have $500. I'm like, ouch, that is a lot of money for a sticker. Should have probably got a quote before this. Again, you live and you learn. So I ended up having to use the business credit card just to pay for that sticker. So yeah, by the time March came around, felt like I had basically everything we needed to get started and have our grand opening. We had services in place, had a few group options that I was going to try and offer, and had the equipment. We put together all the equipment, laid out the facility. The turf was in, rubber flooring was in, all the equipment was looking nice, had a full setup, point of sale system in place, scheduling site in place, had a team of 2 people ready to help me out. And yeah, we were looking good. It always seems like there's another mountain or challenge that ends up coming along somewhere along the way. And that came about, I think, like a week or a couple days, maybe even, before our grand opening was set. There was another gym in the mall, and they saw that we were moving in too, which we're not a gym, we're a training facility. But I used the word gym on the website, in some of the marketing materials, and on some of the marketing pieces that I bought to hang in the facility. And they weren't too happy on that. So they sent a complaint to the mall, and the mall sent a complaint to the Munsons, and then the Munsons told me. And I had to remove anything with the word gym on it or in it, which was basically my whole website, because I use the term gym quite frequently. So that was a little stressful. I had to go and redo all of our marketing material and rephrase it from gym to facility, which in hindsight is good because we are not a gym. Just not the best circumstances, which caused a lot of stress leading up to the grand opening, and a lot of work had to go into redoing all our marketing material. But in my mind too, use it as a little bit of motivation too, like they want to come at us, we'll show them, even though, again, totally different markets. They had memberships, we don't. We're all one-on-one, private group setting. So, but anything I needed for that little extra chip on my shoulder. And yeah, once I changed all of our marketing material, we were ready to go, and grand opening was here, which was a crazy night. Bar Raising Fitness officially has its own facility, and we are open for business. And if it was only that easy, like I said in the beginning, we did not have money We did not have a clientele that was going to follow us to the mall. Now we had to make this facility happen because rent was due every month. We had our, I believe, 3-year lease. We had our loans out and we had our bills to pay. So we had to get clientele and we had to get it fast. And let me tell you, getting clients, way more difficult than I ever thought it was going to be. But I'll pick up on this story again next week. I want to leave you with this today. Take advantage of the opportunities that life throws your way. Because the truth is, you never really know when the next one is going to show up or if another one will ever come up. And you never know what this opportunity might lead to. Because when I look back, I was in no position to open up my own facility. And honestly, let's go back even further. If I didn't take that first leap, just go after what I wanted, if I didn't start my own business when I did, I may have never gotten a chance to train in Farley, to train in Dyersville, and I definitely would not have ever had the opportunity to open up my very first facility when I did. And yeah, that opportunity came in a way I didn't expect. My brother's friend's dad happened to know me and recommended my name to Eric. And suddenly, I had this shot at open up my own facility. And let me be clear, I wasn't nowhere near qualified for that at that time. I was a 22-year-old college dropout who just started training people out of my one-car garage. To most people, I was the last person who should have opened up a business inside a mall with high rent and no guarantee of success. But the opportunity came, and I ran with it. I put in the work, I kept showing up, I still put in the work. And now my team puts in the work right alongside me. Because of that, we continue to get new opportunities as a company and as a team. And every time those new opportunities show up, we seize them. And like I said so many times already, if I can do this, so can you. Seize the opportunities that life gives you. Take the step toward the thing that you actually want to do. You never know what tomorrow is going to bring. You never know what doors will be open just because you decided to take action today. And when opportunities do show up, don't hesitate. Don't talk yourself out of it. Grab those opportunities. Do everything you can to take full advantage of that moment. Because life is unpredictable. And life is just full of opportunities. Even something simple as waking up today. That's an opportunity. What matters is what you choose to do with it. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please share with a friend. But until next time, keep raising your standard.